This is the EKSA E1000 WT. It's a wireless gaming headset. And they contacted me and asked me if I'd take a look at this on the channel. I probably wouldn't have normally done that, but I thought my son might be interested in trying this. I'm not much of a gamer, but I do know what a decent headset sounds like, and I also know what fairly good microphones sound like. So, I think I can give a fair opinion on this, and he can certainly compare it to the one he uses. It's a simple, fairly budget device. I think they're on sale at the moment for about £34. I think RRP is around about £55, and it has a wireless dongle, so it doesn't rely on Bluetooth or anything like that. It is just a plug-in, and this dongle then becomes a sound device on your computer. It makes it super simple to connect. Really is straightforward. Just set that as the default. Most games will then pick up the audio and automatically direct it to this device, unless you've got it sort of set to something else specific. It has what they call what are they calling it? Some sort of noise reduction on here. Yeah, so they call it Voice Pure ENC, and the idea of this is it takes in the ambient sounds, cuts out the stuff that you don't need, so that your mic comes through nice and clearly. This isn't about noise reduction on the headset or noise cancelling of any kind on the headset. This is about what your mic sounds like to other people. I think I can probably summarize this for you fairly quickly. I will take a look at the product and I'll definitely give you some audio samples of the microphone, but I can summarize this for you. It is a budget product, so at £34, I think it's probably worth the money because it sounds okay. The microphone sounds okay. Sounds pretty good. The headset itself really doesn't sound particularly good. It sounds very boxy. It honestly sounds like you're listening to music in some sort of bathroom or something. It's a really odd experience. And I know I'm saying that comparing to headsets that cost considerably more than this and sound better as a result. But my son said the same. He put it on, he tried it, he's just like, oh, I don't like how it sounds. And there's just no comparison. So it doesn't sound great, this headset, but the microphone does sound good. And it's worth it for that, just because it's really easy to set up, and the mic will come across well for other people. But let's take a look at the headset itself. This is the unit. It looks all right, doesn't it? It's quite plasticky, quite lightweight. These are really soft, sort of the pseudo leather ear cups, whatever. It doesn't have a band across here. Some people like to have the band that comes across, as it provides sort of much better support on the head. This just has a big, really, really soft padded cushion here. So it's fairly comfortable to wear, but it does have one problem in that department. And this one's a little bit difficult to explain, but we both noticed it when we put it on, that it sits on your head and it's too far open this way. These bits sort of sit open. It needs to have some ability to rotate the cushion, these bits. Every other headset I've got, you can rotate these, or the design of them allows you to rotate this, but this is rigid. So it sits on your head, and this bit's kind of like so far this way. It needs to be like that. What does it look like on? Well, I'll give you a test of that now. I've got a fairly large head. So I'm going to have to adjust this to maybe about there and there on both sides. And put the mic down like that. And that's what the headset looks like when it's on. This is adjustable, so you can bend that in. You can bend it out. You probably don't want to bend it too far forward, otherwise you're going to suffer with a load of wind noise then, particularly from your nose. That really annoying thing when people are on games or they're on calls or just in general where all you hear, there's always one person, you've got like 80 people on a call or something, and you just got this one person going down the mic. That's what you're going to get if you bend this too far in, so I would suggest probably leaving it like that. But it looks all right on, doesn't it? It's okay. The only problem we have is, as I mentioned, this has a gap here. It needs to be further round like that. It needs to be bent further round because look, there's a gap. It's really strange. I don't know why it's been designed like that. I guess you might be able to kind of really go to town with this and bend it into shape, but if you're spending money on this, you probably wouldn't want to do that. this is how the headset sounds. I'm recording this at the moment on Audition here on a Mac. The levels are quite low. So just with me talking like this, I'm kind of peaking around about minus 20 dB, which isn't particularly high, but it does mean there's plenty of headroom. And I have shouted down this mic and got it to kind of peak right at the top here. It's not like a hard limit that the microphone just can't get over. There is space, there is headroom there for people on games who are going to be quite loud. And trust me, there are plenty of people on games who will be speaking much louder than I am now. Frequency wise, well, it's absolutely, you can see here, there's an absolute flat sort of cap at about 7K. You can also see this line down here. I don't know if you can see this on the screen. I am capturing the screen. So really, this microphone is not sending anything through over 7K, which is maybe a little bit on the low side. You're not going to get kind of crisp, sweet highs with that, but it does sound okay. There's a little bit of clear wireless degradation. You know, it just has a sort of the noise reduction artifacts that you get with any kind of Wi-Fi headset. But it's quite clear and it's decent. If I move my mic slightly closer to my mouth, then of course I get better volume, and then with it being, you know, a condenser mic of this type, you do get a sort of nicer quality as well. But yeah, you do get that problem of a lot of breath noises, and yeah, you don't want that. So keep it a little bit away from your mouth. Let's see now, though, what happens when I boost this audio in a similar way that I would if I was making a gaming video. I would run it through maybe a compressor, multiband limiter, a bit of an EQ, and just have a look at how the mic sounds when I'm processing it in that way. So here we go. This is how the mic will sound processed, just bringing up the levels a little bit, making it all sound maybe a little bit sweeter at the top, just trying to push as much of the top out, bring as much of the top out of it as I can, and just really boost it all, make it sound a bit cleaner and a bit nicer. You might also get more of some of the flaws coming through a little bit more when you do that too. So yeah, it's probably not something anyone's going to worry about too much, because I think it sounds fairly good. What I'm going to demonstrate to you now is the noise cancellation on the microphone. So I enable that by holding down the sort of mottled button on the headset for about 3 seconds. Right, so that's ENC on. I don't think it'll make too much difference immediately because there's no background noise in the stream. So I'm going to have to generate some background noise, and I'm going to do that just by some sound effects playing through a fairly substantial Bluetooth speaker here. So let's just start that now. And that's at a fair volume, so let's see if I don't know whether you can hear that in the background or whether it's managed to cancel it out. What usually happens with this kind of noise cancellation is that for the first couple of seconds you can hear it, but you can hear it kind of adjust and learn as you talk to what your voice is and what the background is, and then it eventually manages to cancel it all nicely out. Let's increase the level. So that's really quite loud now. I mean, I'm having trouble talking over that, so I don't know how well that's going to come through, or whether we're going to end up with a load of background noise on that as well. But it's pretty loud, that. Let's try a different one. Let's see what track 3 is. Whoa! I have no idea what that noise is. What's that meant to be? I'll turn the ENC off. So that's with the ENC off, and you can hear whatever that... It sounds like just some sort of drain or something. But I'll put it back to track 2, which is the one I was playing before. So there we go. That's what I was playing at the start. So that's with the ENC off. And you can hear what the background noise will be like. And then let's just enable it again. And that's with the ENC back on again. Give it a chance. Give it a couple of seconds just to learn and figure out what it can cut out and what it can't. And let's see how that sounds. Cool. Seems to work pretty well. I mean, I'm kind of finding it hard to see what I'm doing here at the same time, but yeah, it seems to work nicely. In summary then, is it worth it? Well, I think for the lower price it's at the moment of about £34, you could definitely do worse. It's comfortable to wear as long as it's going to sit on your head correctly. It does seem to have that problem where it pokes out and bends out from your head. It isn't quite sort of positioned correctly. These need to be adjusted slightly, but you might be able to bend that into shape. Mic quality is surprisingly good, both on wireless and non-wireless. So yeah, I think for £34 as a gaming headset goes, if you're looking for something for a child's birthday or something like that, where they're just starting out with gaming and you just want to give them their first sort of gaming headset and then move them on to something a little bit more expensive later on, for £34 at the offer price that it's on at the moment, you could definitely do worse than this one. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon.